We're going to ask you a series of questions, and essentially, we're going to give you a series of tools, and the question is around how secure are the following communications tools, and we want you to give it a rating out of 10. So get your jazz hands ready on standby. And so the first one will be, so how secure is WhatsApp?
Out
Out of 10. 0. Okay, can you enlighten us? Is that 0 or 3? 3, George. And Ralph, you had 0.
Ralph, you want to go first, or that's for me, right, Pat?
A quick fire round, just to let us know.
I'll go first. I'll jump in. You know, WhatsApp is so ubiquitous everywhere, right? And everybody knows Facebook owns them, and they purport to have end-to-end encryption, and it's so easy to use, and it's just all of these things. You know, at the end of the day, you're transacting over something that it's a black box. You don't really know, despite what the privacy policy says, despite what the company says about not sharing metadata for advertising or other nefarious purposes. You know, my philosophy on that is, hey, every chat app or every video conferencing app is going to have that risk. It's a matter of fact checking on what the app and the company is reporting that they're doing. You got to really check up on that. I mean, if you look at WhatsApp, there's been, you know, some suspicions of them, you know, Facebook using that data to use for advertising, targeted campaigns and things like that. So at the end of the day, you know, a lot of companies at least I talk to, and I know fintech companies included, has WhatsApp as part of their business processes. Companies actually use WhatsApp, which is designed for a personal consumer-based communications chat platform for business, because it's so ubiquitous. I have a little bit of a problem with that, because I think, hey, think through the security and privacy issues of that. You're really putting the data, some you know, potentially really sensitive data, in the hands of a third-party consumer-based design application. So from a security perspective, because of the, I guess, the opaqueness of something like WhatsApp, that's why I scored it a 3.
I think that seems to cover it, unless, Ralph, you've got a quick comment that you will add to it. If not, we'll move through the list of other communication devices.
Let's keep going.
Okay, WebEx. Out of 10, guys. Show me your jazz hands.
WebEx.
I haven't used it in forever.
6. And if I had to ask you to score it on convenience and usability, so the experience, what would that be, just out of interest?
2. 2 from Paul.
5. Okay. All right. Mixed. Blue Jeans. So there was an announcement recently that Standard Chartered is now moving to Blue Jeans over Zoom. So what's your view on blue colored jeans?
2, George. 2 again.
Wow.
Wow.
1.
That's not a peace sign. That's not a peace sign.
Okay, Ralph, if you've got a quick one-liner on blue jeans, why 2?
You know, it's to me, it's just one of those that it just adds a layer of complexity, which always adds a layer of risk in a way. So at least from what I've seen, I don't know that it's worth it. So we'll see. But to me, it just doesn't come across as creating more value than potential risk.
Okay, we're gonna move on to Skype. Jazz hands, please.
6 is pretty high from Paul.
Yeah, well, I mean, you know, it's now own. Is it even Skype anymore? Or you're saying Skype or Microsoft Teams? Because it's kind of, I guess that part was confusing me. I'm thinking Microsoft Teams, but I think for Skype, just the general usage there. Yeah, maybe I'm more of a 4.
Okay, a one-liner to add, Jagdish?
Oh, I think we've all used Skype, and Ralph is right about Teams. So I would say from a user interaction, the world has moved much faster. So I'm looking at it from one of you as a user. I still there's a lot of work to be done.
Okay, so we've got a couple more. So the next one is Telegram.
Yeah, I'd say like 5.
Really? I thought this was going to be the highest to 10, the closest to 10. No? George, why only a 4?
You know, Telegram, TikTok, WhatsApp, all of these things, you know, and I'm not here to espouse or advertise anything. I actually use almost all of them for various, you know, communications channel. But again, it kind of the same reasons for WhatsApp. There's somebody in between me and the destination that I'm talking to. And you know, is that in between transparent or opaque and or somewhere in between? And that's kind of how I assess it.
Okay, that's fair. And there's one missing. I wonder if you guys can guess the missing communications tool, the one that we're on right now. And there's been a lot of press around it. So Zoom, hands please.
Pretty high. Okay.
Super high. I'm curious. Please, George. And then Jagdish, just very quickly, if you give us 1 or 2 lines on this, because there's been a lot of negative press recently about Zoom.
Yeah, I'll go first and then I'll turn it over to you, Jagdish. Like I said earlier, I think they're on the spotlight and there's a silver lining when you're under the spotlight. Everything is shown up. And Eric and the CEO has really stepped up and say, hey, we take these things seriously and no fib, we're going to take care of it. They took some concrete steps as quickly as they could. In addition, customers had some basic things that we did on our end, like here at Gojek as well. So I give them high marks for not the issues, but the way they went about responding to it and you know, taking care of the problems. And I also believe that, hey, if you practice the right steps in configuring it, you're just as safe as anybody else in terms of you know, other options.
Jagdish or Ralph or Paul, if you wanted to have a quick one-line comment, and then after that we'll move on to the final question.
Yeah.
George, I think they've been on the line of fire, but to give it to them, I've been using Zoom for the last 2 years. I would give it to them that they've changed the whole user experience to the next level. And I think the rest are following. I'm not surprised if they're under fire because they've come out with a lot of security guidelines. I personally feel it's trying to improve. And let's face it today, we are not likely to get on a plane soon. So maybe transportation is a far dream. Maybe teleportation will usurp transportation and Zoom is right on top of it. I still feel they're innovating more than the rest. Personal opinion, absolutely.
Nice.
Nothing in life is easy.